don't even know if this story would have been as good if it were a full-length novel. And I know that sounds crazy, but it was just perfect the way that it was. Hello and welcome to Tracy Momi Reads. I am back again with another book review. Today I'm going to be talking about a short story called People Like Them by Minka Kent. So People Like Them, it is actually a part of a Amazon original story collection, the Obsession collection. And I have not read any other stories in the collection. Happened to just come across this one night when I was, looking at books that were on my Kindle with the, elusive TBR. And I saw this one and I just happened to look at the blurb and was immediately intrigued. Because it's funny because if you see the cover here, it's a bunch of forks, right? Well, there's a dinner involved. So that's why there's forks on the forks are on the cover. And this story is only 55 pages. So it is really a short story. I suppose it would be in the domestic suspense category, but because it's a short story, we're not left in suspense long at all, right? But from the onset, in the prologue, yeah, it's a short story and it has a prologue, and look at this. That's all it is. It's one sentence or one paragraph, and it's someone calling 911 saying somebody's not breathing. I think they're dead. So as soon as the book opens, you know that there's going to be a death, right? But let me give you the premise. So the premise is, it starts off, there's this progressive dinner party with all these neighbors who live on the same street. And basically what that is, it's a concept where each neighbor host a different course or part of the dinner at their home. So for example, if I did that with people on my street and my husband and I, we're going to do the before dinner cocktail. So I'm going to craft a good, specialty cocktail. Everybody's going to come to my house and, I'm going to have drinks for everyone. Then we leave and we go across the street to the neighbors who are going to have an appetizer for everybody, right? Then maybe we go to the people next door to them. They're going to provide salads, or soups, and then, come back across here, main entree, so you get it every neighbor is hosting a different part of the dinner. I've heard of these. I've never been to one. I guess brings to mind bar crawls, I guess, when you go to each bar to taste a different cocktail or something, but you're doing it in your own neighborhood. With the people on your street. And I guess that's a way to get to know people, provided you have a good relationship with your neighbors, or if your neighbors can actually cook or something like that. But it sounds like it would be something fun to do because everybody's so close. It's just a matter of walking as opposed to having to get in a car maybe and driving to somebody's house. So anyway, and like the prologue says, at the end of the dinner or at some point, somebody dies, you're just getting started wondering at whose house and who the person's going to be and how it's going to happen. So as far as the twist goes, obviously somebody dies, and I feel like halfway through, you're going to figure out who did it, right? But the biggest twist is how they were able to execute it. That's what makes this whole entire story, right? What I liked about it was that for this to be a short story, it contained all of the elements of a fuller length novel that you would have come to expect, as a reader. The characterization was great because each couple hosted the the different parts of the dinner. You got to know, because it was told in different points of view, different voices. So you got to know each couple at each house and how, they were in the friend group, the people that, were the flashiest, the oldest, who had the most money, who, you know, his relationship didn't seem all that secure, you know, things like that. And then we also, I feel like, got a great buildup as we went from house to house, because you start to see that this couple that everybody, you know, because they talked about the same couple in every story, and how perfect they appeared, right? And how there was jealousy amongst the neighbors towards that couple. But then you start to see like chinks in the armor, that they weren't so perfect. And then also, you know, as far as what I like, not only do you have the buildup, then you have something that happens, you know, a drama, like the death happens, and then you have like the aftermath of it. And everything just was so cohesive. And even though it was fast paced, you know, because you felt like you were like drinking and, okay, let's go to the next house. You felt like you were moving on with them. It didn't seem rushed, and it didn't seem contrived. Like I've seen that with novels that are 300 pages, you know, it's like this slow burn and this slow build, and you know, they have you turning pages, but it takes so long to get to the point, and then a lot of times you get to the end and you're just like, it's not even satisfying. And this story managed to hit all these things and check all these boxes in such a short, you know, amount of time. It's just crazy. You know, I honestly could not find a flaw with it, because number one, going into it, I expect, okay, this is a short story, so you know the pace is going to be quicker. We're not going to get a whole lot of you know, superfluous information, and we're not going to be able to like spend too much time with the characters. But I felt like it was just enough that you knew who the players were and who the neighbors were. You know, like I said, the ones that are trying to impress everybody with the stuff that they buy, the ones that never really spend time together. You know, you got to know that just by going into their homes as the author switched points of view. I don't even know if this story would have been as good if it were a full-length novel. And I know that sounds crazy, but it was just perfect the way that it was. Obviously, a trigger warning would be, you know, that there's a death at a party, at a social gathering, but there's also mention of domestic abuse, you know. So like I said, you know, so much packed into this short story. Why you should read it? I feel like if you're in a reading slump, you know how you get in a slump and nothing sounds good, or you just don't want to commit the time or effort into reading a full-length novel, then people like them would be the perfect thing to kind of get you over that slump, because it's so quick. I mean, you can read this probably, depending on how fast you read, you could probably read it in an hour. I mean, that's how short it is. If you don't have much time, but, you know, I saw a lot of people, you know, as most people do, when there's a new year and you start to kind of set some intentions and things like that. A lot of people said that they wanted to read more, right? Well, this will be a good book to start that off or kick that off if you haven't read, you know, in a while, and you're kind of, you know, on the fence about even what you like. There's just, there's so many different elements in here that this could be an offshoot to you maybe determining, oh, I think I like, you know, domestic suspense. Or, oh, you know, based on this person's relationship in the book, I think I may want to try romance, you know, or whatever. I think that it would be a great jumping off point. If you are looking for a good little messy neighborhood romp, you know, how a lot of stories you read about them with most domestic, you know, suspense or domestic fiction type books, we always get a glimpse inside. And like I said, you see that people are, in a sense, curating their lives, right? You don't even know the craziness or the madness that's going on behind closed doors. Well, if you like reading that kind of stuff, then I think that you would really enjoy reading people like them. Really, really well done. Kudos to Minka Kent. This was actually my first book by her. So I don't know. I think based on some of the books, because I did go and look up her name and like some of the books that she's written. I didn't read any of the blurbs, but just based on some of the titles, I get the feeling that she's someone that writes in the suspense genre, right? The suspense thriller genre. Let me know in the comments if that's the case, or if you have any recommendations of other books by her that I may enjoy. So yeah, People Like Them, a short story, part of the Amazon original series, the Obsession collection. Yeah, so that's all I have for you guys today. Very quick and to the point, but I definitely did not want to leave this particular story out because I was so enraptured with it. And I know a lot of times I have read short stories or novellas and I didn't like, you know, I enjoyed them, but I didn't bring them to the channel, or I didn't do a review on them because I felt like it would be so short, right? But, you know, sometimes short and sweet, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. A good story is a good story. And I think I talked about that towards the end of what makes a book a book. The thing I could appreciate about this too, for as much as I liked it, this was the perfect format for it, being an ebook, you know, being delivered electronically. This would have been a pamphlet had it, you know, been like a physical, tangible copy. And because of my, you know, own prejudices about that kind of thing, like I talked about in you know, that particular video I did, I don't know that I would have even read it, you know, because I would have been so like against someone having the nerve to print out 55 pages and expect, you know, some big payment for it. So anyway, now I'm rambling. If you have read People Like Them, or any of the books in the Obsession series, let me know what your thoughts were. What did you think about the twist at the end? Let me know in the comments. Make sure that you like this video and share it with someone if you want to just let them know about this book, or if you want to let them know about my channel. And for those of you that have not subscribed, why don't you go ahead and take the opportunity to go ahead and subscribe right now so that you don't miss any future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next week. Bye.